Right. Shall we start, boys and girls? Eyes down and looking, please. We're now on to the
teacher mode.
Teacher mode, yeah.
Blue card.
So we've been through various formats. So now we're getting on to stroke of the third. And if you've got one of my copies, it's got the number is right at the very bottom of the page, and of course it slips over to the next page before we start. Now we've gone into the great negation, where everything is not this and not that. Now this is continuing here in this second part, and this is more a sort of a racial and historical sort of description of it. In terms of the four quartets, they're all given by Elliot to his friends, not actually in the poems themselves. Earth, air, fire and water, and Bert Norton is air. And you see the quality of her and the movement of her is being reflected all the time in the poem. But I don't think it's particularly significant beyond that. Now this next part I'll read to you, and then I'll because I think it works by itself, and Elliot didn't think it needed any further qualification. But then I can actually, this is the sneak peek, it isn't just unique to me, but I have a slant to it which other people don't actually quite know. Right, so we're in this negative frame, we're in the wasteland, the place of meaninglessness, the place where there's just life, making a book, getting up, going to bed, getting to work and all that sort of stuff. The everyday. Here is a place of disaffection. Time before, time after. In a dim light. Now the daylight investing form with lucid stillness, turning shadow into transient beauty with slow rotation, suggesting permanence, nor darkness to purify the soul. That's an immediate reference to the last one where we had the actual tree and the turning tree, and it's not that. This is not the turning shadow into transient beauty with slow rotation, suggesting permanence. Neither is it darkness to purify the soul, nor darkness to purify the soul, which is a direct reference to the dark night of the soul in St. John of the Cross. Emptying the sensual with deprivation. It's not this. It's not cleansing affection from the temporal, neither plenitude nor vacancy. Only a flicker over the stained, time-ridden faces, distracted from distraction by distraction, filled with fancies and empty of meaning, tumid apathy with no concentration, men and bits of paper, whirled by the cold wind that blows before and after time. Wind in and out of unwholesome lungs, time before and time after. Eructation of unhealthy souls into the faded air, the torpid driven on the wind that sweeps the gloomy hills of London, Hampstead and Clerkenwell, Camden and Putney, Highgate, Primrose and Ludgate. Not here. Not here the darkness in this twittering world. Okay, this is death in life. This is the wasteland. And this very first word, disaffection, that we come across. Sorry, the first word is here. This whole stanza begins with here. And at the end we're not here the darkness, not here on the 7 hills of London. That first word, disaffection, has 3 meanings. And Elliot, I think, wants us to get all of them. It means alienation, to be disaffected with something. And it means absence of love. It also means, in its old form, disease. So a place of disaffection can be disease, alienation, isolation, and absence of love. So those are the 3 aspects which he's tying into this. Time before and time after, in a dim light, near the daylight. Now this whole section, this strophe, is written about, would you believe, tube station. And this is what it is. And when you get that image inside, lots of things will come through to you. You know, this is a concrete image. We've had the philosophy, we've had the lyrical, we've had these different poetical expressions, and this is right down to the concrete. He's talking about literally the routine of going to work and coming home. He's talking about his particular one, but he makes this everybody's. Here's a place of disaffection, the tube station, literally the place where people are passing, they're going somewhere or they're coming back. It's not a place to stay, it's not a place that you go to for itself, it's a place you use to get from one place to another. Time before and time after, in a dim light. Neither daylight, investing form with lucid stillness, turning shadow into transient beauty, with a slow rotation, suggesting permanence. So it's not sunlight. It's got no reference to the earth and to the universe. Nor is it darkness to purify the soul, emptying the sensual with deprivation, cleansing affection from the temple. That's this word of disaffection, cleansing affection of love from the temple, from the time present. Neither plenitude, neither plenty, nor vacancy, nor emptiness. Only a flicker over the strained, time-ridden faces, distracted from distraction by distraction. Now, one of the things he mentions generally about talking about this is the fact that he actually experienced a tremendous negative state deep in one of the tubes in London when the train stopped. There was silence, nobody spoke, no one spoke to each other, they were completely isolated. And they sat there for about 5 minutes, very, very still, everybody lost in their own thoughts, desperate not to speak to anybody else. And then the lights went out. And the murmur started, and he reckons that they were very close to pure panic. And then the lights came back on again, the engine started, and the train started to move. So this was his point. You're in the bowels of the earth. You're on a machine, you're in this peculiar, ridiculous light that flickers constantly. It's not natural, it's completely alien to everything and everybody, and the damn thing stops. So you're not even going anywhere. And then the lights go out. You can't think of it, I mean, for a natural person it would just be an obscenely negative thing. And he feels the panic in everybody. No one knows what the hell to do. Distracted from distraction by distraction. We've distracted ourselves, we're not looking at anybody, we're not speaking, you can't even read the damn paper. What? This is, who are you? What do you do? What's life all about? Well, this is the lowest hell, if you like. This is the dark night of the soul. This is the crucifixion point. You're completely empty. This is nothing. Face it. Filled with fancy and empty of meaning. Humid. Ken, our word spokesman. Humid, please.
Swollen.
Swollen. Swollen in the sense like a plant is swollen, like a succulent. Humid apathy, with no concentration. Men and bits of paper, whirled by the cold wind that blows before and after time. Now, I used to travel a lot on the Merseyrail. It's not quite a tube, but it's like a tube. And occasionally when a train came past, you do get this rush of wind, you get the smell of the train, you get the rush of wind, blows bits of paper and everything in people's ties, and when I had hair, it used to blow my hair, and then the train would come and then move off again. You've got this image of men and bits of paper whirled by the cold wind that blows before and after time. Wind in and out of unwholesome lungs. Time before and time after. Eructation. I won't ask Ken, but it means belching. He told me yesterday. Eructation, belching of unhealthy souls into the faded air, the torpid, driven on the wind that sweeps the gloomy hills of London. Now here's a direct reference to the 7 hills of Rome, of course, which Dante talks about. But here, the gloomy hills of London are the ones, literally the ones which I resonate with from Blake's poetry. These are the ones, the dark satanic mill places of industrial England.